You all welcome. Health is wealth. Previously, we discussed different systems, but majorly now we to talk about what we call the central nervous system or the brain and its system as all, how it works. Now, with central nervous system, we have what we call the brain, we have the spinal cord and other nervous system in it. But what we want to talk about is psychological part of the brain. Psychologically, we have things that what we think of. In brief, psychologically is what comes into our brains or what we hear, and then the brain meditates and interprets about it. It receives, it interprets, and then it gives back the feedback. That's how you reply someone what we've told you. So psychologically, we have what we put into our brain. We have what we absorb or what you take in. When you take in, you interpret it. After interpret it, it is about you to react, or it depends on how it has affected you. Now here we are going to talk about some disorders, psychological disorders. With psychological disorders, we have what we call stress. Stress is when you are oppressed into a certain thought because of something. And that stress can affect you emotionally, it can affect the body, it can affect the reproductive system, it can affect anything in your body. With psychological, also we have what we call dementia, a disease of forgetting or not storing anything into your medulla oblongata. So with this, now we said we are going to talk about stress. So being stressful is when you have that as a disease and your brain is occupied, you will not create rooms for other activities in the body. For example, let me give an example. Mostly in marriages, we tend to have different, or in relationship, we tend to have problems. Which problems of like, no woman would need an husband to get a second partner or to go into a polygamous relationship. So with this, it tends to affect you psychologically. And when you are affected psychologically with that thing when it is occupied, you will not get pregnant. How? The brain, it has what we call a gland on the brain which controls the production of two hormones, the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone. So those hormones will be affected, and when they are affected, you will not be able to produce the ovaries, or it will affect the uterus, and then you will fail to conceive in one way or the other. These hormones, the FSH, the follicle stimulating hormones and the luteinizing hormones, they are produced starting from the gland behind on the brain. So remember, if the brain is occupied with stress, one, your libido will come down. You will never have that urge for love. And love or for sex, if it is not there, everything you do while having sex will be just for nothing. That's why you see that men who are having more thoughts or stressed because of money or work issue, you find that their sex libido are down. And then that's where you find that ladies complain a lot. My husband is so weak in bed. My husband is not doing this and this. My husband cannot take this and this. So with that, that means that the stress is having the problems. Those stress can arise from 1, diseases, 2, financial problems, 3, relationship problems. So those relationship problems, we have to avoid them. Financial problems, we have to look for a way to remove them out. And now to our partners in relationship, we have to understand each other to remove those stress. Because if you bring those stress, you're going to have what we call wear and tear of the body. Wear and tear of the body, the organs are going to be teared out. One, you will lose weight. By losing weight, your body will not be able to hold pregnancy as a female partner. Two, when you're stressed and then you get wear and tear and you lose weight, your body will not be able to prepare itself for the hormones that are responsible for the reproduction or for the reproductive systems. So that's why we advise people that if you want to get pregnant, prepare your mind or psychologically to take away stress. Prepare your mind well and eat well to avoid disease that will bring psychological stress. That's why in most cases after marriage, we tend to recommend people to go for those honeymoon walks. We tend to recommend for tours. Why? Reason that within in those areas, you refresh your mind, you rebuild yourself again, you get new moments which tend to create new memories in your body. And whenever you think of it, it will stimulate you and you will get the love, or you'll get back the sex urge, or the love for sex will be high, and also the hormones will be stimulated, and then you will be ready to produce. And if you tend to get those problems of stress, you can get sick. If you get sick, your body will get weak and your immunity also will be weak. So the diseases will come in, because remember, it is our immune system that protects us from other diseases. Before we go for medication, we go for other things. It is the immune system that fights other things. And in most cases, we boost our immune system with the medication, we boost our immune system with that. And the more you become happy, the cycle, the body tends to be happy, and it gives all the things as freely. So, with the stress, the way how to treat it, one, you have to go for these recreation centers, you have to go for honeymoons if you're in marriages, you have to go for tours, you have to listen to music, you have to avoid anything that can bring wear and tear in your body. So majorly, stress is one of the causes to the concerns of the reproductive systems. So to avoid health, avoid such stuff. Avoid alcoholism, because alcoholism will never solve stress, but it will just postpone. Avoid smoking. Smoking doesn't deal with anything unless it will just create more problems of more diseases, and also affecting the hormones, and also giving in more stress. Psychological stress doesn't only apply to female. Also women, if we have psychological stress, it will affect us. Men tend to have stress overload, family issues, the responsibility that we carry as women, it increases. The more responsibility that a man gets, for example, if you have a financial constraints or financial problems, you will get psychological stress. One, you need money, you have bank loans as a man, you have work stresses as a man. It will affect you. And if it affects you, all the work you do, it will be affected. Like you find a man, most accidents to men, they are attributed to psychological stress. Which psychological stress will lead a man to go into bars, taking alcohol, smoking, doing so forth, those other activities. And those other activities will also cause a man to have low sex urge, whereby you find a man having sex for about 1 or 2 minutes because of stress. You find a man's not sleeping at home when you don't have a desire to sleep, you have no love for sleeping or for resting, sleepless nights, hence affecting you. So with that, we have also medication that we normally give to people. We have amitriptyline, diazepam, sulfurs, and also we have some drugs that have those things that normally bring sleep or some dizziness in them. So we tend to advise that if you have a psychological stress, look for some psychiatrists, look for some consultants, and look also for some people, the counselors, to counsel you, to guide you, to come out of those stress, because they affect you. I have told you that psychological stress, it brings a body wear and tear. And if your organs, your body is teared down, you've lost weight, you've done what? You're affecting the body, the brain, and the organs. That's why you will find that most of the repercussion of it will be failures of the organs, hence creating diseases. Your health problem will be at a high rate. So we tend to discourage stress in our lives. Be free, enjoy your life, take music, take an outing, do everything, eat well to avoid such problems. Thank you very much. Health is wealth.